Speaking for the first time about the horror crash, Ryan says that Andrew's car was speeding and seemed to come out of nowhere when he was struck aged 15 as he rode his bicycle across a road in Blairgowrie on the Mornington Peninsula. As he lay on the ground screaming in agony, Ryan claims Mr. Andrews and his wife Catherine, who said she was driving the car, were yelling at each other and were slow in helping him. I saw the man and the woman looking down at me. I remember that they were standing next to me and looking down with horrific looks on their faces. They did not bend down to assist me, he said. Hi everyone, Rukshan here. I just wanted to make this quick video to share with you this exclusive story that's just dropped on the Herald Sun regarding the 2013 crash between the Andrews family car. That is a car driven by Catherine Andrews at time, passenger apparently Daniel Andrews and his children, and a 15-year-old cyclist who was subsequently flown to the Royal Children's Hospital, which according to this interview, he feels they were life-threatening, a crash that almost killed him. Now, before I get too much into covering this, in my own opinion, I'm just going to play this exclusive interview that they've given to the Herald Sun. Here's the video.
Since the accident, we'd kind of put it behind us. We didn't get the result that we were looking for, and we don't feel that the truth got out there. So kind of felt that there was a massive injustice done against my son. So here we are, you know, quite a number of years down the track, trying to get the truth out there, trying to get a little bit of a justice and right the wrongs that happened to him. This has scarred my son for a major part of his life, and so if getting the truth out there can help somewhat to get my son's life back on track, then that's what we're here for.
What do you remember about how the accident transpired?
Just riding from my dad's to mum's like every other weekend, and just looking left to right, slowing down and doing the right thing, wearing a helmet, everything like that, and just pretty much crossing the road and yeah, just looking left and seeing it just speeding at speeds you wouldn't think that you'd travelling around a corner on a footpath like this, on a road like that, sort of getting hit and just being in a lot of pain, and yeah, it's not a spot you really want to come back to. So I got a punctured lung, ruptured spleen, broken ribs, yeah, and I was internally bleeding up until the emergency surgery. So. Not happy. It's not what you want to hear, it's not the truth. Just sort of signing paperwork, and being younger I was a bit scared into believing it all, and that I'd probably get in some kind of trouble with a law that the lawyers worked with the paperwork, and I'd be looked at as a criminal. Pretty unfair. Didn't get a good chance to speak up and be treated fairly. People have a right to know, and they should know, and it's not right that they listen to Daniel Andrews' stories.
Now, as you can see, there's a lot of unresolved issues here, and it seems like this family is searching for justice. A lot of the circumstances, what happened around this crash, are murky. If you think about the fact that the police at the time didn't breathalyze the driver of the vehicle, right? Very rarely does that not happen. The police always usually breathalyze the person driving the vehicle at a crash scene like this, especially if a minor is involved. Now, this was later on investigated and looked into by IBAC of all places. And of course, they found that, it was just a routine mistake by the police. And, let's just move on from that. Now, subsequent to that, also, we've had this family, this adult now, this child that's grown into an adult, claiming that police didn't take a statement from him properly, that the lawyers that were engaged to act on their behalf, they're not really sure how that came to be, and the information that they got from their lawyers was to keep silent. Andrews is a powerful man, just accept the money, and these things will sort themselves out quickly. All these kind of murky third world type corruption type things which are being said. I'm not alleging anything nefarious happened here, but I'm saying the optics of what's occurred in this story generally points in this direction. This particular issue, we have a victim involved here, right? And this is not being done by a political ad, as far as I can tell. This is this victim deciding now is a good opportunity, while the media is paying attention, to actually have his story heard, to have justice sought. And this might be the type of pressure that's required to actually get some justice for this victim. So look, I'm going to just read some snippets from the news story. Tell me your thoughts, and thank you for watching this video. Here we go. Let's have a look at what the kid said. Well, shouldn't call him kid now. He's an adult. Let's have a look at what he said. Cyclist hit by Daniel Andrews' car demands justice. A young cyclist hit by Daniel Andrews' car has aired explosive claims about the crash, alleging the car was speeding and that he's been denied justice. Speaking for the first time about the horror crash, Ryan says Andrews' car was speeding and seemed to come out of nowhere when he was struck aged 15 as he rode his bicycle across a road in Blairgowrie on the Mornington Peninsula. As he lay on the ground screaming in agony, Ryan claims Mr. Andrews and his wife Catherine, who said she was driving the car, were yelling at each other and were slow in helping him. I saw the man and the woman looking down at me. I remember that they were standing next to me and looking down with horrific looks on their faces. They did not bend down to assist me, he said. Ryan, who suffered a punctured lung, broken ribs, internal bleeding, and was left with just 10% of his spleen, has also condemned the then opposition leader for leaving the scene after calling 000. Mr. Andrews has said he needed to take his traumatized children who were screaming to the nearby holiday rental home before returning. Police failed to use breathalyzers at the scene, and Ryan now says he never gave a police statement to detail his version of events. Police documents detailing the Andrews claims about the circumstances of the crash, which have recently been obtained under freedom of information by the Meuleman family, but cannot be made public, have added to their fury. The Meulemans have also called for the reports to be publicly released. Mr. Andrews has previously insisted that it was Ryan's bike that heavily hit their Ford territory. He was moving at speed. He absolutely T-boned the car. Hit it at such a force he was literally inside the car. He flew up over the car and hit the road, Mr. Andrews said in 2017. But Ryan says Andrews' car was travelling too fast for the conditions before the impact, which is about 17 meters from the intersection of where a small bike path meets the road. I was riding very slowly because it's difficult to pick up any speed along that stretch, he said. The bike belonged to my sister. It was a girl's bike, not a racer. I had a helmet on. I also had a backpack on as I was moving some personal things from one house to the other. There was also a mechanic's bag full of tools that was attached to the back of the bike. This was another reason why I was traveling slowly and not able to pick up any speed. Ryan secured an $80,000 compensation payout from the Transport Accident Commission to be paid after his 18th birthday, but the family has raised concerns about the process. Neither he nor his mother, Sonia Johnston, who were dealing with major law firm Slater and Gordon at the time, can recall how the firm had been engaged. I was basically told that I could go to court to contest the TAC payment, but that he, Daniel Andrews, is a pretty powerful man. And if I take this money now, and I wouldn't have to worry about it and would definitely get the money, but once I sign the contract, then I would have to keep quiet about it, and that's it. It's done, he said. I basically had to keep my mouth shut. It sort of scared me into signing straight away and just agreeing with it. It's something you don't forget. The Victorian Police Commissioner Garen Ashton said the officers who did not breathalyze Mr. Andrews' wife, who had said she was driving the Ford Territory, simply mucked up at the busy scene. You know, the police are always making mistakes at the most opportune times, right? Not for average Joes, just always making mistakes whenever they're dealing with high-profile cases or incidents. They always just seem to muck up the police.